Team Rocket strikes again! Later, bitch!
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we have a lot of topics to talk about, to cover. I'm working on many different videos right now, so as a result, this one is going to be jam-packed with information, with just things that I found interesting all across the internet, literally all across the internet. If I wasn't so busy making videos, I have a lot of cool videos that's coming. I would have split this up into 2 videos, but we're gonna do one. So it's going to be a lot, and it's going to be kind of rapid fire. Thing that I want to start off with, we have another sort of concept mock-up poster of the Tekken Bloodline. The first one that I showed, it's in one of the videos. You guys probably seen it if you watch all my videos. It was of Lily. This one is of Zhao Yu. The tweet says, "The wait is finally over." I just want to see, I just think it's cool. Whenever the community takes these ideas and they spin it or put their little twist on it, I just think it's cool. Also, which characters will show up in the Bloodline series? I think it's going to be very interesting to see exactly who shows up. I'm hoping we see Wayne, Beck Dusan, maybe Michelle, definitely Yoshimitsu, right? Some of these characters who was alive and active and moving around during that Tekken 3 time frame, I think it would be really cool. It would even be cool if we could see, like, I don't know who was a baby at the time, maybe like Lily. Lily was probably like a baby. If we could see a baby version of some of these characters, I think that would be very memeable, right? But let's move on. The next one is a poll from the Elden Ring subreddit. And the reason why I thought this one was interesting is because it's sort of talking about how people, when did you buy the game? It says 1 million tarnished in a month. Elden Ring celebration thread. It feels like yesterday that I posted our 500k celebration thread, possibly because it was a mere 3 weeks ago. This subreddit hit 1 million milestone within a month from launch, with sales making Elden Ring the most successful game in. And then 14,000 votes on this, and you kind of just have many different votes of when you purchased the game. I was here for the Great Halloween, pre-ordered as soon as it was available. 3,500 rounding up. But the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because I bought it after launch. That's 6,000, almost 7,000 people who voted that. And that just shows how a game can be successful at launch, but really like how the community accepts it and how the community talks about it will decide whether more people purchase it. That's why I think Tekken 8, it's very important that they release the game in a very, very polished and working state, because if they don't, it won't get positive reviews from the community, right? Everyone loves Elden Ring, and as a result, more people want to get in on it, more people want to buy it. If Tekken 8 is going to see the same level of success as Tekken 7, it's going to ride very, very heavy on its launch, I think. Of course, the fighting games are notorious for doing a 360 and making a comeback like a year later, but we don't want that. We don't want Tekken 8 to suck for a whole year and then season 1 comes around and then now it's good. We want it to be good at launch. And this poll just shows what a successful, fun game at launch can do. 6,000 people here say they bought it after it was released, right? Let's move on to the next thing. I wanted to check the Tekken Twitter just to see what they were up to, because the Tekken Twitter, it's just so irrelevant. It's no news from them. It's no information. It's like every once in a while, almost like once a month, they'll put up this like kind of irrelevant tweet, and then it's like, that's it. When I went to their Twitter, they had a post. It says, "They don't say there's a thin line between love and hate. For those who played Tekken 2, did you notice this?" And then basically it says, "In the Mishima Dojo stage of Tekken 2, the names of Heihachi and his wife, Kazumi, Haijo, are engraved on the floor under the shape of an umbrella." And this was kind of showed in the Tekken 7 promo. They were kind of talking about, yeah, we always were doing this and we were always planning this and blah, 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 blah. It's like, give us some more relevant, talk about Tekken 3 at least. Give us some crazy details we never heard about Tekken 3 or Tekken Bloodline, right? Do something more relevant. In the comment section of this, It was just more disappointment. Someone says, I also noticed this missing slot on a character and stage select since March 2021. And it's like, I am so sick and tired of this screenshot. The one reason why on April 1st, April Fool's, I posted that Tekken 7 Season 5 announcement trailer. It was like a fake, it was like a tease. But the reason why I did that is because I wanted to troll all the people who believe Season 5 is still coming, and also all the people who still want it. It's like, we should not want Season 5 anymore. Tekken 7 is done. Just let it rest. It was a great game, the most successful Tekken ever, but it's like, we need the next era. We need the next generation. No. Why do you want 5 more characters added to a game that's like 7 years old? It doesn't make sense. The game is over, right? But let's move on. That was just ideas that came to my mind when I seen that post. This one is about Harada and when he was talking about the mods. I did a whole video about the Elden Ring mod situation. You guys can go back and watch it on my channel if you don't know. But Madoink, I discovered Madoink through Parrys. I was watching Parrys, and then he, he hosted Madoink, and then, it was car stuff and whatever. That's how I came across Madoink. But he replied to Harada when he was talking about all the mod Elden Ring stuff. Well made mod, but please stop it. LOL. I just thought this was funny. It may not be funny once this video go up, but at the time this was hilarious. 2,313 likes on this one. Now, talking about Harada, I have an update from him. Well, not an update, but he's talking about E3. I already did a video talking about E3 and where do I think Tekken 8 can be and blah, 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 blah. But Harada, he put up 2 tweets acknowledging it being canceled. And I said I would do an update once it happened, so here it is. The first tweet, he just says E3 2022 canceled, including its digital only component. And then it's just a GameSpot news article. The second one, he says, it's sad that all these events are digital only. And I don't know if this means Summer Game Fest is going to be digital. I was looking and I couldn't figure it out, but maybe he has some, inside developer information about, I don't know what he means by all of these events, but he obviously knows something we don't, right? But let's move on. The next thing that I want to talk about, this is about Mortal Kombat 12. Now, I am very hyped for Mortal Kombat 12, and these tweets, I wish it can come to life. The first one says, if any character deserves to return for Mortal Kombat 12, it's Havik. Havik is just an amazing character. Like, I really hope, if they can't tap into the order realm in Mortal Kombat, I hope they tap into the chaos. Havik, I hope they bring back Raiko. There's so many good characters in there, also in order realm, and it's like, I hope they dive into that. The leaks and rumors that we heard, 2 months ago, it really is crazy if they really decide to just repeat the whole Shao Kahn arc again, because there's so much more they could be doing. Like, these video games, the fighting games, they kind of get stuck in this loop of doing the same thing over and over and over. And yes, it's successful. Yes, it works. The famous quote, if it's not broken, don't fix it. But being a diehard fan, it's like seeing the same story over and over gets tiring. The next tweet. Who is the most popular female character in Mortal Kombat? For obvious reasons, evidence in games, movies, animations, marketing has always been Sonya Blade. But I want to see your opinion. Type here in the comments. Now, in the comments of this, a lot of people were saying Katana. In my opinion, my favorite Mortal Kombat female character, Scarlet. I used to play a whole lot of Scarlet in MK9, and I think Melina is really cool. Now, the next thing that I do want to talk about, this is a graph that someone made of IGN's top 100 games of all time. Now, remember how I was just saying that Mortal Kombat 12 possibly could be, MK11 all over again. Here's the thing we have to consider when it comes to Mortal Kombat 11. That game was considered to be great. So this graph here is 100 games all of them in order from IGN's top 100. Just looking at it, some of the ones that stick out to me: Grand Theft Auto 5, Red Dead Redemption 2 is higher than Grand Theft Auto 5. That's astounding. Well, the single player was amazing. The multiplayer, trash. You have God of War, you have Street Fighter 2, Tetris, I love Tetris, Minecraft. I was looking through here to see if there was a Tekken on here, but I don't see it. Left 4 Dead 2's here. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is on there. That's not one that I've seen before. Fortnite. And then you have all the way to the right, second to the top, you have Mortal Kombat 11. So here's the thing. I know the Tekken community, we're like elitists and we talk about other games and we hate on things and, you know, all that. But Mortal Kombat has a very successful model, and I think Tekken and Street Fighter could take aspects from it. My most popular video on this channel is a video where I was talking about Street Fighter 6. Is their new graphics copying Mortal Kombat, copying Tekken 7? And it's crazy because that video was super successful, but now the people who find that video, they sort of just see the title and they're just like hating on it. They're like, oh, Street Fighter isn't copying Mortal Kombat and yada yada yada. But my point with that wasn't to say that they're trying to copy them. My point was maybe they're attributing Mortal Kombat's success to the graphics, because we know casuals, they see graphics and they go crazy. So maybe that's why they pivoted to that graphic focused type of game too. We'll really have to see when the gameplay comes out what exactly it's going to look like, but I think it's going to be interesting to see what aspects these fighting games copy from each other. Will Mortal Kombat 9 have slow-mo? Will Street Fighter 6 have enhanced graphics like Mortal Kombat and Tekken 7? Will Tekken 8 have a story copying Mortal Kombat, where it's like this big narrative, this big movie, and all the Tekken 7 kind of did that too, but the narrator really killed the momentum. If they took out the narrator, the story is actually really good. The cutscenes, the animations, the dialogue, the narrator really just crippled it, right? Talking about story, the next tweet, Street Fighter 6 story leak. And it's a picture, this is probably from some magazine from like the 90s or something, but it says, Ken, presumed dead. And it's Blanca reading, I think this is like some kind of newspaper, but you have to wonder, are they brave enough to really get rid of Ken? Because even though they're putting Luke in this position of importance, are they really that bold to say we don't need Ken anymore? That's the same thing with Tekken. Are they really going to say we don't need Heihachi anymore? Is he really going to be gone? A lot of people say, a whole lot of people say, put him in a flashback just like they did Kazumi and put him on a roster. You have to imagine that that's a possibility. They did it for Kazumi, so why would they not do it for Heihachi, one of their most iconic characters ever, right? I have 2 more tweets about Street Fighter 6. I was going to talk about them, but I really don't want to anymore. But I will show them. It's about Street Fighter 6 characters that people want to return. You know, the typical, please bring my character from 20 years ago and put them in a game. It's that sort of mentality. But it got a lot of likes on both of these, so I thought I would show them. But yeah, let's move on. Landen D. Landen D is someone that I talk about quite a lot now. And the reason why I talk about, I had to figure it out. The reason why I talk about Landen D so much is because the tweets and the things that Landen D says gets a lot of likes, get a lot of attention. I guess he just speaks the Tekken language very efficiently. This tweet says, Parrys are the hypest thing in fighting games. Now, I would agree hands down, but the problem I think about is when Parrys is too much, like too over the top. Examples is Leroy Smith, Fakamram, Lita. I feel like some characters, their parries is just so like over the top to where it's not even hype anymore. Like when someone see a Leroy Smith parry, who gets hype off of that? Versus when you see a Jin main do a parry, or maybe a Geese main do a parry. It's like there are different levels of hype, And I think it depends on how obnoxious and how, I guess I would say, easy to do. I think that factors in, easy versus hard, obnoxious versus beloved. It's an interesting tweet. And in Tekken 8, I do wish they would tone down the parries just a little bit so that it can be more hype. When everyone can be a star and do it and parry, then no one can be a star and parry and do it, right? That's kind of the mentality that I have here.
Everyone can be super. And when everyone's super, no one will be.
The next 3 things I have to talk about are all polls from the Tekken subreddit. 3 polls. The first one, why do you like your main? 912 say aesthetics, 707 say toolkit, general game plan, 481 attitude personality, 628 execution feels natural, 136 says other comments. Now I don't know what other thing you can like about the character besides these 4. Me, I think I would put myself in aesthetics and looks. With Yoshimitsu, the fact that he had a sword and was kind of like a samurai, the closest thing to a samurai, is instantly I was like, yep, that's my character. But then over the years, the attitude, the personality, the buttons, it all sort of just came second. Like, because you play something for so long, you don't know what not playing it feels like. When I switch to another character like Geese or like Jin, or I don't know, there's some characters in the Tekken roster where their move list is just something so unique. Eddie, Harang, Zhao Yu. I do like in Tekken 8, I was thinking about it. If Yoshimitsu for some odd reason isn't there, and if Dragunov isn't there, I'ma be a Zhao Yu main. I know I said I would switch to Brian Fury, but a part of me really wants to learn the Zhao Yu character archetype, and I guess I'm just waiting for a reason to do so. The next poll, thoughts on Tekken 7's music. The music overall. Only song I'm gonna remember is Heat Shadow. 355 votes, 210 say good, 145 say underwhelming. Now, off the top of my head, the songs that I like is the Kinder Gem, is the Arena. Of course, Infinite Azure is a favorite. That's going to be the one that everyone remembers. But I would say those 3. Also, the Mishima Elevator. I can't remember what it's called, but those 4 songs are the best. So that's about 4 songs out of how many stages is in the game? Probably like 20, 25. So I don't know. It's good. I want to consider it underwhelming, but not all of them are iconic, and not all of them are going to be remembered, right? The next poll, the main protagonist of Tekken. Who is the main protagonist of Tekken? 389 votes. You have Kazuya, Jin, Heihachi, all of the Mishima family. Now, I think this next game is going to really determine who is really, you could say Jin, because since Tekken 3, he's been kind of the main character. He's been the one the story revolved around. In Tekken 7, he kind of took a back seat. Heihachi and Kazuya got to have their final moment in the spotlight, really Heihachi. But now you could definitely say Jin, depending on how Tekken 8 ends. Maybe in, a few years we'll be saying Kazuya is. But I think all 3 of them definitely are the stars, and it's just a matter of sometimes they switch positions, right? 1 and 2 was Heihachi and Kazuya. Tekken 7 was Heihachi and Kazuya. 3, 4, 5, and 6 were Jin, right? So it kind of trades off there. The final thing that I want to discuss. This one is more so made me reflect on the channel. It says, how do you feel if your match is uploaded without your consent? From, let's say, a stranger you fought online, of course they're going to upload matches they've won regardless of you winning any. Now in the comments in here, I'll put them up, you guys can read it, but my opinion, well, there's 2 sides of it. Some people, when they see either a friend or they see themselves, they are excited. They're like happy. They're like GG's in the comment section or something like that. But then you have some people who are like, oh, you trying to make me look bad, and you're showing my gameplay, and but it's like, I think it doesn't really matter what if someone shows your gameplay. What the only time it matters is if they are specifically focusing on it. Like, there's some times where I'll talk about a cheater and I'll put emphasis on the gameplay. But it's like, let's say if that person was a cheater and I was just lying, then that could have some sort of bad impact, right? But other than that, if you're not doing anything wrong, it's nothing to worry about, I feel, because we all lose, you know? And of course, we don't want to focus on the loss. We want to focus on the winning, right? But that's it. I don't know. That's everything that I want to talk about. A lot of topics, a lot of discussions, rapid fire. I have more videos that I'm going to make, more things that I'm going to start working on after this. So like and subscribe, stay tuned, and that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.